We are back for round 2 of the PDGA World Championships in Emporia, Kansas. This is Jomez Productions, exclusive MPO lead card footage brought to you by Innova Discs. We're back at Jones East and we have a premier lead card today. I'm Steve Hill, alongside me is Nate Sexton. And let's take a look at who we're going to be checking out today, Nate. We've got Paul McBeth, Ricky Wysocki, Nikko Locastro, and Jeremy Koling.
McBeasy and the Flatbill boys ready to tackle the course on a really hot day.
And we were able to catch up with them before the round to get some thoughts. Let's see what they have to say.
Definitely clean up the OBs. Had 3 OBs out there yesterday. Kind of errant drives put me in those bad positions. So definitely need to clean up that. But hopefully just keep the putting up and keep the drives in the in bounds. And I think I'll shoot another pretty solid round.
I feel like it's pretty. A lot of these holes are pretty routine for me. I can throw the shots, and they're pretty high percentage for me. A lot of them are backhand, sidearm combo, up shots, sidearm up shots, backhand drives, and vice versa. So I feel like I have a good advantage there, and I feel like it's something I can definitely repeat or improve on.
I'm just gonna try to do what I did yesterday. Actually, I want to keep things as boring as possible. Of course, I'd like to make a couple long putts, but I don't really want to have any long putts. This course, the way these holes set up, it's really it's a strong setup for my game, and I'd like to get off a lot of good tee shots. And a lot of times when you throw really good tee shots and you just kind of make your 10-15 footers, the crowd never really gets that excited about it. I like to keep it that way. I just want to get a lot of birdies, kind of shoot a under the radar score somewhere around the 40s, low 50s again.
I'm feeling good about my game so far. I left a few on the table, but I think most people did. The heat is a factor out here, so it's all about just staying hydrated and trying to stay focused when it's game time. So that's kind of the game plan, is just keep hydrating myself and just leave myself opportunities all day long.
And as we head into hole 1 here, Nate, we've kind of got the showdown that everyone wants to see a little bit early. We've got Paul McBeth, Ricky Wysocki been giving us some epic showdowns all season. We've also got Nikko having a little bit of a roller coaster up and down season. Same with Jerm. What do you expect out of these guys today?
I think, the sign that they're on the lead card, they're all playing hot. I'd expect everybody to come in and continue what they did yesterday.
We'll take a look at McBeth here. Lined up a forehand yesterday off the tee, and it looks like he's about to do a similar route.
Yeah, for a right-handed player like all these guys, you're looking for a forehand or a backhand roller if you're looking to birdie this first hole.
McBeth gets a nice little skip there, but it does hit that tree and roll out. It almost looked like it slipped out of his hand a little bit. He just didn't have quite the juice on that one.
Definitely a little inside the ideal line.
South Carolina.
As we're looking at Ricky Wysocki, he has been nursing a bit of a sprained ankle. Says it's doing all right, as you heard in the pre-round interviews. We'll see if it affects his play at all today.
Must be doing at least all right, as well as he played yesterday.
And that looks a bit more like the forehand route that you want out of this hole.
Yeah, that's a nice shot. I'd say probably edge of the circle.
Next up, from Grass Valley, California, Nikko Locastro.
And looks like next up we're going to have Nikko. He's been having one of those seasons where it seems like he could either be on the lead card or he's somewhere down around 30th. And right now he's putting it together, it looks like, after the first round.
Yeah, he's a passionate guy. Everybody knows that. He's a player that goes all out every time he hits the course, and that's a strategy that can kind of boom or bust.
He gets that backhand roller, takes a nice little curl inward toward the pin. He should have a nice look at birdie.
Yeah, really nice roller.
And then we have Jeremy Koling, the man they call Big Germ, literally 6 feet, 6 inches tall, towering over the opponents.
Especially Nikko and Paul.
Especially. And we'll see if he can tower over them on the scorecard today as he gets his forehand going. Keeps it just over the bridge there.
Yeah,
Skips a little early.
The grass is a little too thick for that shot to work. Needs a little more height.
So it looks like McBeth is out. And it does look like he's going to try and run this one.
Oh, man.
And he just sails it, and it rolls down the hill a bit.
That's surprisingly aggressive there.
Koling just goes for a little anti-layup, and he'll be having an easy tap-in par there. And let's see what Nikko can do with this bid. Just hangs it a bit low. See him shaking his hand there. It looks like he may have gotten stuck to his hand a bit, Nate.
Yeah, and actually there's a condition out there that's kind of sweeping through the players. I named it yesterday, Kansas sticky hand, and it's actually a pretty big issue as with this humidity. That could, again, something like that, you know, Paul coming back on the par putt and not being able to make it. The humidity just kind of makes your hand more tacky than you would like.
So it looks like Wysocki is going to take the lone birdie on this hole, and is actually going to take 2 strokes on McBeth from the jump today.
Yeah, just what Rick wants and what Paul doesn't want right there.
So at the start, we've got Ricky taking the lead with a 49 overall. With the birdie, he'll take the tee. And you can't ask for much better of a start than that if you are Ricky Wysocki trying to come in and knock off the world champion as we head into nice little 300-foot par 3 for hole 2 here. This is just simple route, right?
Yeah, I would say it's a hyzer, either a forehand hyzer or a backhand hyzer. You might see, I would say most of these guys are going to go backhand at it, but it kind of depends on the wind.
Yeah, it looks pretty calm at this point. As the afternoons kick up here in Kansas, it does start to blow a little more, and you see Ricky going with that backhand. It does look like he leaves his a bit shorter than he would have liked it to be. You got to wonder if the power is a little bit sapped from that ankle.
Possible.
Nikko goes with the huge hyzer route. He's going to be a little bit deep of the pin, but should have a nice look at the birdie.
Yeah, that's just what you want.
So here, if Koling's lining up beforehand, is that a matter of comfort, or do you think he's playing the wind a little bit differently there?
I think in this situation, probably comfort.
And he puts that one deep as well.
Oh, yeah.
Needed to dial that one back just a bit. And it looks like Paul is going to go with that same backhand that Nikko did. Pulls it wide right.
Overstable destroyer here. Just kind of throwing a soft shot, letting the disc hyzer out.
So everyone's a little deep, except for Wysocki. He was the lone short shot, and let's see if Koling can convert on this birdie opportunity. Gives a little jump and chains it in. Very nice.
Yeah, great putt. You don't want to miss this hole. Probably the easiest hole in the course.
Yeah, this is a must-get.
Definitely one that Jerome will be happy to hit that putt.
And Ricky doing his signature right over the top of the cage putts. He's 2 for 2 after the first 2 holes. That's a nice start for him.
Yeah.
McBeth gets his birdie as well. Takes that one back from hole 1. Getting on the road to recovery. It looks like the wind's picking up a little bit. Nikko cleans up his birdie as well, so we've got a little bit of a star frame there.
Yeah, good commitment from Nikko there to jam it into that headwind.
As we look at the UDisc scorecard, star frame, everyone taking their birdies as we head into hole 3. And as we talked about yesterday, this is one of the more difficult par 3s, the most difficult par 3 on the course.
Yeah, I would say easily the most difficult, just due to the distance. Little bit of OB concern. That barn does come into play, but I mean 520, if anything, slightly uphill, always a little windy. Really, really a good get if you get any kind of look at 2.
Yeah, and you've got to be able to just crush a drive here, put yourself within still looking at a reasonably long putt.
Yeah, not a hole you'd expect to see parked. I mean, I'm sure it's been done, but very, very rare.
And Ricky resumes the tee, and he's going to go with that big Annie route, trying to get it over the barn there. It looks like he clears it.
Yeah, that should be fine. That's pretty average landing zone over there for a top player.
Nikko takes a very similar route. Looks like his might be getting pushed right a bit further than Ricky's shot. Doesn't quite flex back as much.
Yeah, a little bit of flex. Nothing wrong there. Should be very easy up and down.
And Koling's going to line up the backhand as well. Oh, it looks like he releases it a bit early.
I like that wide line, but it needs to keep turning.
Yeah, it looks like it just stalled out a bit early there. He's going to be much further off to the left than anyone else. Let's see what McBeth has in store here.
There's that same wide line, but he's got the turn on the disc.
And it is still going.
That's the path of least resistance. And wow, yeah, there's a putt.
He's going to be 60, 70 feet out with a birdie look here as Koling makes his upshot. Looks like he clipped a tree a little bit there and got kicked down early.
Sailed on him a little bit.
Looks like Ricky's lining up a nice little harp shot, little overstable approach. Goes a little bit deep, and he's going to be safe. Nikko with a nice, easy approach right around the pin. That'll be a tap-in par.
Oh, this shows you.
Koling is still out before McBeth's even had a chance to look at his putt.
How good Paul's drive really was.
And he misses that one wide left, and let's see what McBeth can do here.
Maybe about 50 feet, 45, 50 feet.
And he gets it.
Wow.
That is the only birdie on hole 3 through the entire tournament thus far.
It might as well call it an eagle. That's an incredible score. 2 there is definitely a stroke on everybody.
You kind of would wish that we're a par 4 there and you could actually take 2 strokes. It's almost you want to see him be able to be rewarded for that kind of aggressive play there.
Yeah, true. I mean, a stroke's a stroke either way. So, you know, these guys are going to make 3s aside from Jerm, and Paul will still pick one up on the field,
which he needed to take back after that bogey early. So that kind of evens him out there. And as we head into hole 4, we've got McBeth and Wysocki knotted up. Nikko and Jerm are hanging in there, not too far behind. And we got a little bit of the water carry on this hole, Nate.
Yeah, and I think the wind's a little higher today than it was yesterday. And this is a hole that really showcases that, because you got to get the disc up high over those trees, expose it to that wind, and then you're worrying about flipping too much, lifting towards the road. A lot of bad things can happen.
And then you also have the OB right if you don't get enough of that on it.
Yes.
So we'll see what these gentlemen have in store, as we've already got a nice little battle brewing. Some really clean, big drives today. Let's see what McBeth can do with this one. Is that another destroyer he's lining up there?
Absolutely. It's a fighter, too.
And looks like it comes in there nice and clean, nicely safe. And Ricky takes a similar route. Looks like they're going to be in pretty similar landing zones there.
Great spot.
And Nikko takes that big run up, goes with a little more of the flex shot there.
That's the play. That's the aggressive play.
Yeah, and you can see as he takes that extra long run up there, he's really trying to get some steam on it. And it looks like Jerm may have pulled his a bit too far right on this.
That looks like it's flipped. It's very high, so it could still. That's inbounds.
It is inbounds by about a disc's width, and so he'll have a little forehand upshot here.
Certainly not what he planned, but really an ideal lie when you look at where it ended
Very,
up.
very nice recovery there on that upshot. Looks like Paul left his a little bit left there. Was that a rock he was throwing there? It looked like it faded out a little early.
Hard to tell if it was the rock or the Mako, but yeah, not exactly perfect, but I think he should be able to hit that putt.
That's generally in his range, and Rick throws one right up there too. And now this is a par 4. Mm-hmm. These guys are all making it look relatively gettable. As you can see the wind picking up. We'll see if Nikko can power through this one. And he does. Very nice.
And I mean, that's what these guys do. These are the best players in the world, so there's not a lot of par 4s that they can't tear up if they get off the tee well, like all these guys did.
That's right. Paul cleans his up as well. And let's see, that should leave Koling with a nice, easy look here. And this next shot should be relatively routine for Ricky.
Yeah.
Meaning we're going to have another star frame. If you want to catch up with more, be sure to hit up Jomez Productions on Instagram, giving you some insight and background the whole tournament. As we head into hole number 5, we have another par 4. Correct, Nate?
Yeah, this is the one with probably the most OB. Very eagleable if you're willing to go for it and try to carry all that long grass. Also a pretty easy birdie if you just play for that area on the left of that pine tree there as we're flying by into that landing zone. Then you just have a little putter chip up to the green.
What goes into that decision between trying to run it for the eagle or just playing that safe placement shot?
That's just kind of how you're feeling, I think. You know, what you're comfortable with, if you feel like you can kind of hit that distance. Paul is going Thunderbird, and he feels really confident with that disc to just get that slight turn and just fly right about the right distance to hit the green.
And like you said, he is feeling it. He is going to be on that green, and that's just a tremendous shot right there from Paul.
Yeah, it looks like a very makeable eagle look.
And then you see Ricky here just playing that layup placement shot. Now he's mentioned that his power is a little bit down on the forehand shot. There's a little more pain with that sprained ankle, and you wonder if that plays into that shot right there, as Nikko also goes for just the safe play.
Yeah, it's hard to say if Rick would go for it. Depends on wind. So clearly all these guys have the potential to eagle.
Of course.
But it's hard to turn down a very easy birdie.
That's true. It's a matter of kind of deciding if you want to really risk it or just stay within yourself. It's still early in the round, early in the tournament.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a need to be taking all those kind of risks yet.
Yeah.
As you'll see, everyone just getting easily on the green.
Oh, look at Paul's disc.
Ricky takes 2 to get to where Paul took 1.
Even closer than it looked at first on the video.
Yeah, he's absolutely parked. I mean, that's 10 feet max. There's a nice bird there for Nikko.
Nikko's stroke looks good today. He's putting the disc in with some power.
Ricky also cards his 3. And Paul takes an eagle for the second day in a row on hole 5.
Can't do it better. It's nice to be 4 down on 1 hole in 2 days.
That's a pretty impressive little turn there. And as you see, that also puts McBeth back in the lead at 59. We've got a nice little matchup going here today. A little back and forth between him and Ricky. Not to be outdone, Nikko and Jerm are also hanging here as we head into hole 6. McBeth also eagled this one yesterday. Do you think he tries to fire off another one here?
Certainly tries. That is the more impressive eagle of the 2 that he got yesterday. Hole 6 is the harder one in my opinion. That'd be pretty amazing if he could do it again.
Yeah, just trying to run that low ceiling again, just like yesterday. We'll see what kind of shot he lines up here if he's able to duplicate that feat.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's not going to happen. He leaves that one low, gets a little bit of a cut roll there.
That's the real challenge, is that low ceiling.
Just challenging, trying to flirt with the height there. Rick takes a little run off the tree there. He's going to end up where the drop zone would have been if he weren't in bounds, but not a bad lie.
Yeah, that's a conservative shot. A nice little flex forehand. Puts him in a good landing zone.
And Nikko takes the McBeth route from round 1.
Oh, wow. Great. Oh,
gets a nice skip, little tree hit, but
at least it
a
rolled
friendly
around.
Roll. And he may have a look for eagle there as well. And
absolutely.
Now, it looks like Germ's lining up an overhand shot here.
This is something Germ can do that almost no one else at the top level of the sport does. This massive thumber.
Unfortunately, that did not play out well for him there as it goes out of bounds, and he'll be at the drop zone.
Yeah, I think maybe a bit of crosswind there. Generally, a thumber is going to be a tough... Oh,
and he skips out of bounds again. That is 2 shots in a row that Koling has gone OB, and that's going to throw a wrench in the works for the whole day for him.
That is really not a well-played hole for Germ. Hopefully he can recover.
Now, do you think it was just a matter of being too aggressive with that overhand there?
Well, I don't even think the overhand is an aggressive play. He's playing the overhand, just for position. Clearly, he didn't judge the wind correctly because it sailed on him.
And that's a beautiful forehand upshot from Ricky. He'll have a nice look at 3 there. And Nikko lining up the eagle, gives a little jump, and just misses it. Still can't get too upset about taking a 3 on this hole. The eagle would have been a little bit of an extra boost for him. And Paul goes low off the cage.
Shoot, yeah, trying to get a nice save there from that bad drive, but...
And you can tell he's getting frustrated. Slaps the disc. Germ cleans his up. I believe that's going to be a 5 for him with those penalty strokes.
Absolutely had to make that putt.
Nikko taking a little extra time to line up, probably dealing with a little frustration after missing that eagle. You see McBeth in the background there, wishing his putt up higher.
Yeah.
Still getting a little frustrated over that last putt there as Rick puts his in.
Yeah, the swirly wind can be tough. You think you read it one way, you expect your disc to react, and when it doesn't, that can be a frustrating thing. You kind of feel like, oh, I did my job, and now the wind, didn't do what I thought it would.
So we've got Ricky and Nikko taking birdies there, and Koling with the unfortunate out of bounds there.
Really, with 2 OBs though, a 5 is great. I mean, that appeared
there.
it could have been much worse.
Now we've got hole 7 here. It kind of plays with the island green. You can do a little bit of a placement shot again. That's the main way to roll off the tee here, correct?
Yeah, I would expect 4 power hyzers here. They're going to throw 80 to 90% hyzers. Try to get up there by hole 8's tee pad to where you have an unobstructed look into the green.
555 feet. This is at least one of the longer par 4s on the day.
Yeah, and again, lots and lots of OB.
And Rick's just going to take that nice shot up the middle there. A little bit of a hyzer on it.
Perfect.
He'll leave himself with a safe look there. Now Nikko, let's see what he does, recovering a little bit. You can see the wind kicking up a little bit, and he pulls it a bit far right.
Needs to get off the pavement.
And it goes OB. That's hard after. You got to wonder
Yeah.
if he's letting that last eagle miss get in his head a little bit there.
Yeah, and that pavement is hit so late in the shot that you really just can't get much skip off of it. You really got to stay out of there.
McBeth goes with that nice smooth hyzer there, and he'll be safe.
That's a good lie. Not quite as close as Rick, but very workable.
Let's see what Jerm has in store. He's also going to go with the backhand.
Did it contact that tree?
I don't think it did, but that is not going to be a friendly
Yeah.
lie because he is going to be right at the base of that next tree, and we'll see what Nico's got lined up from the drop zone here. Goes with a pretty powerful backhand there. Puts a little mustard on it.
Yeah, looked like maybe a flex Firebird. Fighting the wind, right on the green.
Not a bad look for him. Jerm, on the other hand, has a difficult shot here.
That needs to sit.
Just gives it a little soft Andy. That's actually a nice smart play there
Good.
instead of trying to run that too much with that OB in the background there.
Rock 3.
Just so smooth. Oh, but he just get clipped down by that tree there.
Those trees, though, they drop you into a very makeable putt. So if you're at all in a weird lie, you kind of always have the option just kind of hit those trees and work the putt.
And you see Rick working in that reliable forehand shot, and he also finds the trees. So we've got a little bit of the few Kansas trees coming into play on this hole.
Yeah. There's quite a few trees at this course, but really not very many gap shots. And most of the trees are small enough you can kind of go up over if you need to.
We'll see if McBeth can this one. And he does. That's a very nice recovery.
He's not a man who will miss 2 putts in a row very often.
No, it's one of the things that makes him the best player on tour. Let's see if Nikko can convert here. That's like you said, his stroke just looks really smooth today. He looks really confident for the most part, especially after that last hole where he missed that eagle putt.
Yeah, likely no accident that he's on the lead card. When he's putting solid, he's absolutely among the top in the game.
And speaking of putting solid,
Nobody puts more solid, I would say, this season. This man has been...
It just seems like he has elevated his putting ability this season to a tremendous level, and that's saying something considering what we've normally seen out of McBeth all season.
Yeah.
And in the past.
Ricky is a putting machine this year. I mean, every round I've played with him, you can never count him out from anywhere.
And Wysocki strings together another birdie there. That's a few in a row right now, and it seems like he might be heating up a little bit as we head into hole 8 here.
Yeah, hole 8 again, par 3. Got to carry all that long grass, which is no problem for these guys. But then the tricky part is just a couple trees down by the green, and then the pavement being out of bounds, obviously, and the green kind of skinnying down as you get closer to the pin.
Yeah, it does. It looks to the naked eye to be a relatively safe shot, but especially with the wind starting to kick up a little bit, it could be some trouble.
I always feel like this is one of the windier holes at the course as well.
It's relatively unprotected there. Rick comes up a little short, but he should have an easy look for birdie there. Now, what is this that Paul's thrown here with this
T-Bird 3.
That T-Bird 3 with the nice little neon stamp. And as we see, the nice little shot tracker.
Oh, yeah.
Pulls it right, comes back in. That's a beautiful shot.
I love the shot tracker. That's great.
It's a nice little ad with this tremendous Jomez Productions video.
And that's a Nikko signature shot, that Flex Firebird, I believe. Not too many players come over the top on the backhand as often as he does.
Yeah, he does. He does seem to put a little more getting over on it there, and he pulls it a little too far right. And then Germ goes a little too far left, and you see it getting a little air bounce there. You got to hope that gets back in bounds.
Wow.
And he's just having trouble keeping it between the lines right now.
Yeah, that's a really a pretty surprising error.
Gets a little help off of the flag there.
I got to think the wind, maybe with that putt and also Germ's drive, I got to think maybe just under reading the wind a little bit, because there you go.
And that shows you just having that safe, straight shot up the middle there for Ricky made it nice and easy there.
Mm-hmm.
Germ's going to clean his up. Paul takes the easy tap-in birdie as well. So these guys are just kind of trading back and forth as Nikko and Germ start to get into a little bit of trouble as we finish this first front nine here. We've got one more hole on that, but we've got McBeth and Wysocki still toe-to-toe, total at 68 right now.
Yeah.
You got to wonder if these guys can start to separate or if it's just going to be like this the entire tournament. We've got a big 726-footer here.
Yeah, this is probably the hardest par 4, as we said yesterday. Skinny fairway, backhand up the middle is an option, forehand around the outside is an option, and then the second shot is tough because the green is so slanted, and obviously you have the road, and then that long grass and the ditch, OB right behind it.
And we'll see what Wysocki has lined up off of the tee here. It looks like he's going to go backhand again. Just takes that nice, smooth gap up the middle there.
Yeah, and all you want to see there is that slight turnover. Because if he hadn't turned it over, then he's flirting with the road. But once you see that disc come out with that little right movement, you know that's a great shot.
Now, McBeth's going to go forehand here. He does flirt with the road a little bit, but obviously that's going to be overstable enough to come back.
It's got so much height, there's almost no way that it will find the road.
Now, is that a little bit of a safer play there than Ricky's shot, or are they both equally
I think the gap's bigger for the forehand, that's for sure. But, for these guys, I think any of them could execute either shot.
Nikko goes with the flex turnover, gets a little bounce, but it does stay in bounds. He got a little bit lucky there.
Yeah, that's a nice lie, though. He has no trees in his way.
Germ, however, does have trees in his way.
I got to think maybe that last forehand played into his thoughts when he had one flip late like that on him, that he maybe went a little too safe there.
He goes with the big high hyzer there, and he's out of bounds again. That's the 4th OB in the last few holes for Germ, and he's having a bit of a struggle today. Now, we saw McBeth kind of clean this off the road yesterday. He clears the road this time and puts it right next to the pin. That's a beautiful shot.
Yeah, that is a sickeningly good shot over the OB.
Nikko also gets hung up in the tree there. Keeps it in bounds, though. Gets a little rolled back into the shadows, but he's going to have a long look there at trying to save his par.
Ricky with a huge drive to get there. Nice to be able to bring a putter into that green because it's so skippy. McBeth and Ricky. McBeth going mid-range, Ricky going putter. Really nice to be able to stick it.
And they're just trading back and forth right now. It's a very they're in one of their signature duels a little bit here, it seems.
Yeah, and that's what we're all hoping for. I mean, that's what all the fans want to see.
Not that Germ and Nikko are getting left behind per se, although Germ may be getting left behind at this point. He's really scuffling right now.
Yeah, he is digging himself a hole, and I don't think it's nerves. Germ is a top player. He's been in these situations. I mean, I think this may be his first Worlds lead card, but obviously he's been in big pressure tournaments and he's won them. So I don't know if it's grip issues or wind or what, but he needs to kind of reset his mental game here and attack the course with kind of a fresh start.
And as we finish the front nine, let's take a quick break.
thrown Innova and competed with Innova. I don't think I'd be playing the sport if it wasn't for creating the disc itself and then just taking it to the next level over and over and over again. How great the discs are themselves. It's really gained my trust, and I don't think I would be here without Innova. I don't see myself doing anything else.
Welcome back. Before we head into the back nine, let's take a look at our Ultiworld Disc Golf trivia question today. What was the name of the first known flying disc sold by Whammo in 1957? You can submit your answer at discgolf.ultiworld.com/trivia for a chance to win a $25 gift card from Dude Clothing. And we'll be doing that every day of the tournament as we go into the back nine here. Ricky Wysocki has currently carded 6 consecutive birdies to Paul McBeth's 3 birdies. So not quite as hot as Ricky, but they are both heating up tremendously here.
Yeah, just what you thought they'd do. I mean, coming into this back nine, they're both feeling great, I'm sure. Looking to kind of just keep it going.
And we'll see what Rick has lined up here as we get the shot tracker again with a little bit of the right turn. And that's going to look like an easy birdie number 7 in a row.
That was a perfect shot.
You can't get much better than that unless you're going to put it in the basket. McBeth hangs his forehand out just too far left and gets stuck in that tall grass over there.
Looked like it kicked over just a little bit, kind of got the nose down right out of the hand.
And like you said, Nikko going with that, getting over on that Firebird again, gives it a run. Oh, gets a bad roll off the tee, but he should still have a good, or off the tree, but he should have a good look for a birdie there still. And Germ's trying to recover from his rough end to the front nine. Gets kicked down again.
Yeah, that shot has to be low. Paul, right in between Germs and Paul's is what you need because those branches come into play at the end.
McBeth gives it a jump, hits the tree, slaps his hand in frustration. He's had a couple of those today where he just can't get that putt together, and he's getting a little frustrated as Germ goes off the cage there. We'll see if Nikko can convert. That's a really nice putt from the straddle stance there.
Very nice.
Nikko is after he's missed that eagle there, he did get a little bit of time to be a little frustrated as you see McBeth clean up there. Germ goes for his 3 as well, and Ricky's just gonna not. That's always a good feeling when you don't even have to take the putter out.
Yeah, that's great. On to the next one.
7 in a row, as we said, for Wysocki. That did break McBeth's birdie streak as well. And that means Wysocki is up by 1 as we head into hole 11. One of the kind of signature shots here at Jones East, you've got the water on the right with a little bit of or water carry with the Mando on the right.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably my favorite hole at Jones. Beautiful looking shot. Not really, I mean, even though it is 395, the distance isn't an issue because you're a little bit downhill. That's a fun hole to throw, fun hole to watch people throw.
And as you can see, we do have quite a few people watching over there from the shelter. And Ricky goes just to the right a bit. It's going to fade back. And again, it looks like he's going to be right there for just another birdie. He's absolutely feeling it right now.
Yeah, that looks good as well. Another flex.
A little bit short, but nothing that Nikko can't handle. Let's see what Paul's got on tap here.
Oh.
Oh,
no.
And he goes for a swim out of bounds. And have you ever seen anyone do that before on this hole of this caliber, I should say?
Yes, but oh my. Okay, so that is a really errant shot. That's missed the Mando. That is shockingly offline.
And Germ's just going to take a little easy shot from the drop zone, and you got to wonder if it's just all getting in his head right now. Let's see what McBeth can do if he can recover here.
The Nova.
Oh, and he splashes out.
No way.
That would have been a great recovery. My goodness. And Nikko takes a nice birdie.
I have to think
2 in a row for him.
Some grip issues for Paul and for Germ. I mean, those were really uncharacteristic grip locks, releasing the disc so far right of where you would like to, especially both of them knowing that the Mando is right there. You can't miss that shot.
Yeah, a little bit uncharacteristic for those guys.
Yeah, very surprising.
And so that for Paul now, that's been a par and a bogey, which means Ricky has opened up a little bit of a gap here. He's at 10 down on the round now, through 11, has a 3-shot lead on McBeth as we head into hole 12, which is another nice little fun shot with the built-up green here.
Yeah. Paul's gonna need to get on his horse here if he wants to stick with Rick, because Rick is absolutely bringing it so far.
Yeah, you got to see how he can recover, and obviously we know Paul has the mental game of a champion, so this is the part where he needs to really dial it in and see what he can do here. Rick keeps that low. Is that going to stay safe?
Yes, but it isn't good.
That's definitely not where you want to be on this shot. He got a nice little skip off those rocks, but
Looking for that thing to flex back a little bit more than it did.
see him sitting down there in the background. He looks a bit frustrated.
I haven't seen anybody go Spikeiser here. He's looking to get around the back of the tree.
He was almost looking to get in the basket. Bounces it off the platform there. That's a great shot.
Yeah, that's not a route that I've seen people try, but perfect.
And Paul's got a chance to take a shot back here if he can put it a bit closer. Not too shabby right there. A little deep. He'll have an easy birdie look there. Might be able to gain one here. And you see Germ going with the overhand again over the water.
A little bit deep?
I think he's going to be a little bit wide there as well. Just got that little roll away.
Mm-hmm.
And Rick just goes with the smart layup there with the wind playing there. Do you like that play, or would you like to see him be a bit more aggressive?
I like that play. Early in the tournament, elevated basket, 50 feet at least in the wind.
It didn't really look like Germ was giving that much of a run there. It was kind of a half layup, half big there. He didn't really commit, it looked like.
You kind of have to get past your subconscious trying to tell you not to miss it 30 long in that situation. It's pretty tough to fully commit to that putt with nothing but air behind the basket.
And McBeth goes into recovery mode quite nicely there after carding the bogey on the last hole. Gets the nice birdie. Nikko as well taking another birdie. That is actually his third in a row.
Yeah, which is great through there. All these water holes. Not that the water comes into play too much, or it shouldn't, but still, anytime you're throwing over water and parking holes.
So McBeth takes one back, and Nikko is still right there. He's 7 down, same as Paul this round. Not to be forgotten, but Germ is at 2 over. He is really scuffling right now. And we'll see if maybe he can put something together on the back as he tries to recover from all this. As we go to hole 13 here, this is one of the longer shots you've got. You want to play some placement shots here, right, Nate?
Yeah, it's going to be a hyzer, backhand hyzer for a right-handed player. You need to move left, get ideally near that yellow pole that you could see there underneath the flyover, so that you can move back right. The other option that we saw Paul do yesterday, come up a little more right, you can play a spike hyzer over the trees if you have enough power.
And like you said, Nico's going to take that backhand hyzer. As it moves left, he'll be in a nice spot to make that next shot.
Yeah, that's a good place.
Paul takes a similar route as well. He's going to be a little bit further right, though, of where Nikko landed.
I think he's liking that over the top play.
And Ricky pulls his left. He's going to need that to stay in, and it doesn't. It splashes into the creek, and he's going to be out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a bit of a lazy shot, kind of letting it get left on him. I'm sure he wanted to kind of pop that a little bit more.
Yeah, he just didn't get the full power on it.
Yeah, didn't quite commit to it. And that's the danger of this hole for sure.
Nice shot there by Germ.
Yeah, Germ shot there is ideal.
So Rick's having to take the knee from out of bounds, and you can't really recover much better than that.
Yeah, that was beautiful. He got his focus back right there.
He'll be able to save his par there nice and easy. And you see McBeth going up with that big spike hyzer like he did yesterday.
Yeah, this is a champion monster, so it's not going to glide at all. It'll just be straight up, straight down.
It just sits down right there, a little pop, and he's good. And Nico's going to also go with the big spike hyzer route.
Okay, great angle on it.
Wow, that's a tremendous shot. What kind of power does that take to be able to put that on that angle to go that high?
I'm going to say that's a 400-foot shot, even though it only goes to 200, maybe. The power required to get up and over those trees is a 400-foot arm.
Well, and we know these guys have that as McBeth takes his birdie, but it's still nonetheless putting that kind of elevation on a shot like that is a pretty amazing feat to watch.
Yeah, it almost could be more. 400 at the minimum, I'll say.
Well, you put a different angle on your body, just such a different shot. not something I imagine that you're practicing all the time.
No, not too often. It's kind of a get out of trouble type of shot usually when you need to put that much spike on the disc.
So Ricky goes out of bounds but is able to save par. Everyone else takes birdies there. And so we've got just a one-shot difference between Wysocki and McBeth as we go into hole 14. It's another par 3. Do you want to take it right around these trees or shoot that gap up the middle?
Definitely up the middle because the hole finishes so far left. A lot of OB to contend with. It's like that
whole string on the left side.
Yeah,
there.
and then the pond behind. So it's a tough shot. You got to put a full hyzer on it, and I'd say birdies are on the rarer side here.
422 feet. That is a big power shot there. And we'll see what Nikko can line up here. Takes that big run up again, and it looks like he's putting a lot of juice on it.
That looks pretty good. Needs to sit.
That
Wow.
looks very good. He's going to have a look for birdie there. He's probably 25 feet out, maybe.
Yeah, maybe less. That is a really, really good shot. This hole is a little uphill. It kind of comes across in the video, but it's a long 422 because it is so far left and a little up.
And Paul's in a similar spot to Nikko. Both of those drives off the tee are really, really clean there. Jerem looks like he may have found his stroke back a little bit the last couple holes.
Wow.
Wow.
So this hole's not as easy as these guys are making it look. I'll say that.
Now Rick's gets a little more height. We'll see how much that fades out at the end there. Oh, he's fine as well. Surprise, surprise.
There's never been 4 drives that good, I think, on this hole. Those were great.
Oh, and Paul
That's
just misses off the top.
Stayed in bounds, though?
It did stay in bounds, so he's going to be okay there. And that's a nice birdie there from Jeremy Koling.
Good to see Germ string 2 birdies together.
Yeah, he needed that after his start today. Nikko goes for another birdie. That is now his 5th in a row since hole 10.
That's what you need to do.
And we'll see if Paul can clean this one up to save that par after going off the top last putt. And he does. Goes a little high in the chains there again. He's been aiming a little higher today.
It's a good save, though.
We'll see Rick try and get the birdie here, which he does.
3 birdies on that hole. That is fantastic.
Let's take a look at the U-Disc scorecard now. McBeth, the sole par. Everyone else taking the birdies, as Nate said. And you see now Ricky's got a 3-shot lead on Paul. He's started to open it up early in this back half.
And Nico's closing on Paul as well. So
now we've got hole 15 here. Obviously, you have the road OB on the left. Is that pretty much the only danger there?
the OB on the right is there as well.
Pretty far out.
Yeah, rare to get it. Yeah, I think it's more about just kind of navigating past these trees. Not often that people are going OB here.
Do a little bit of danger behind the basket there if you were to really run it, but that'd be a pretty aggressive
Yeah,
play.
these guys are going to play such a sharp hyzer that I would be surprised to see anybody significantly deep in the basket.
Like you said, Nikko right there. He is dialed in right now with the drive.
That's the other approach you can use. It usually works pretty well.
Or in that case, very well.
Yeah, very well is fair.
It's nice to see Koling kind of start to recover after this. And it looks like Rick maybe... Is that a mid or a putter? Hard to say.
Be a putter.
I think that's his harp.
And
Throw it right up the middle.
That's a rarely seen shot up the middle, I think. You're going to see most of the players take the big hyzer, either forehand or backhand.
That seems like Rick has really been feeling that just straight, powerful putter shot lately. He's been pulling it out in some other tournaments.
Yes.
He seems to just be really confident in that.
Definitely.
He leaves the putt high and it
Wow.
skips out of bounds.
That was really a terrible break for it to go that far left off the flag.
And such a rare miss, but then McBeth can't capitalize and he goes high too. He's been flirting with that band all day. Jerem hits another birdie.
Yeah, and maybe some of this it's probably 95, 96 degrees with humidity out there. So
And the wind kicking up.
a few
See
little
the flag dancing a little bit more.
a few little mistakes from these guys, but it's hard out there. It's tough to keep your focus when you're sweating and you're tired, and it's just.
You see Ricky, swatting at that mini with a little bit of a scowl there. Now, is fatigue starting to be a factor as well in this heat and this late in the round, or is everyone pretty well conditioned enough to be able to power through that?
I think they can power through it, but I mean, just playing in that when it's that hot and you're just trying to focus and there's pressure, great players will still drop occasional strokes. I mean, that happens every round anyway, but I think that's amplified by the conditions.
Nikko strings together another birdie. That's 6 in a row, and Germ actually gets back down below par after being over par earlier in the round, so he's started to recover a bit from his early missteps, maybe a little too late.
Yeah, certainly he won't be on the lead card again, unfortunately. I got a feel for him getting in this spot and having a really a subpar round for him. It's a lot of struggles with out of bounds.
Now, we saw in this shot yesterday, you can take it a little too hard and have to mess with with the bushes in the background. They're not OB, but they still can give you a rough lie.
Yeah, they absolutely can.
Nico's going to be just a bit left of the basket, but he should have another look at birdie.
That needs to stay flat.
Gets a little bit of a roll. He'll have a little look at the downhill bird there.
35-40 probably.
Now, we saw McBeth put a lot of juice on this yesterday and end up past the basket in those bushes.
Yeah, just not quite getting flat. Both Germ and
he's
Paul,
there again, yeah.
Both Germ and Paul, they need to get that shot. They want it flat, and they're not quite getting it flat.
And Rick pulls his out, and that looks like that might fade a bit too much as well.
Probably pin high.
And Paul's coming in from behind this tree. He's not able to convert off the cage there. That's a really tough lie, though, for that situation.
Yeah, I think it may have been a slight low ceiling.
Oh, and Ricky just drains that for birdie. That's such a smooth stroke getting that back after going OB on the last one.
Yeah, that's a great putt. Germ checking if he's outside the circle.
That's what it looks like. Oh, and he just goes chains left side. Nikko taking some time. And that's 7 in a row for Nikko.
That's what it's going to take to keep him in the position he's in.
Gotta get that.
Really?
You gotta get streaky.
That's very, very solid golf. I'm impressed. His putt is looking as good as I've seen it in a while.
And that's always been his strength, is when the putter is on. That's what he needs to get moving to contend like he is today.
Yeah, he's always a great thrower. He's always putting himself in the spots, just knocking down the putts, and when he does it, he's on the lead card.
And let's head into hole 17. Ricky's still clinging to a 3-shot lead over me. Actually, adds one there. I'm sorry. 3-shot lead now over Paul. Him and Nikko are both at 11 down for this round. That's a tremendous round out here at Jones East.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the conditions playing a little bit more difficult today, I think, with the wind.
Yeah, the scores are a little bit down compared to where they were at this point yesterday.
I think maybe a stroke and a half harder on the second round.
You got to wonder how much the heat plays a factor as well. It's steamy, to say the least.
Absolutely.
So Nikko, after his 7th straight birdie, is going to give that big flex shot again.
That disc is getting a workout today.
Skips away a bit down into those rocks. He'll be about
makeable.
30, 35 out. Rick leaning on that forehand here, the nice little overstable disc. Oh, gave it a run.
Wow.
Little short skips over to the side.
Surprising skip. Must have caught a kind of a little dry patch.
I'm not exactly sure what he was throwing. It may have been a triple X. I couldn't. Don't quote me on that, but that's a pretty beefy disc to get that big skip at the end there.
I'm not sure what it was. I would expect maybe a touch faster than a triple X, but
That's true. He has been. I saw him flirting with a couple discs in the selection today.
this is a destroyer. And it's perfect.
Yeah, that's a nice shot for Paul. Germ gives it a little jump.
Nice.
Gets a little love off the rim.
Great putt.
Let's see what Nikko can do here. Oh, and he hits it off the top, and he gets the coin return rolling right back to him. So at least he doesn't have to move.
I think he'd like to move.
And he can't come. Now he goes too low.
That's always a difficult putt to make. A really unfortunate situation when you end up not advancing hardly at all and have to take that putt again, but now it's for par.
Especially after that streak he had been on, as we see Wysocki here goes with the birdie. As does McBeth. Back to Nikko, though. That's a hard way to end that hot streak.
Yeah.
That's just unfortunate.
Inches away from birdie.
You can tell he's a little frustrated. Understandably so. He's still at 10 down on the day. Wysocki moves to 12 down as we head into hole 18, which, longer hole. We saw McBeth play this pretty aggressively yesterday.
Yeah, it's an eagle opportunity for the top echelon kind of distance guys. But I feel it's a fairly routine birdie if you just kind of play it into the landing zone.
Take the safe play there. Don't flirt with that parking lot too much.
Yeah, risk reward.
Risk reward, as always on these holes, and early in the tournament still. We got to remember there's still a lot of golf to be played after these rounds. So you got to wonder if it's worth trying to push something like this, or maybe you just play it safe and see how it goes.
Yeah, hard to say. I mean, you look at a hole like hole 5. Paul's already racked up 2 eagles, making strokes on the field. You can't, certainly hindsight makes that play look smart.
Right.
It's hard to tell. See if he can get it inbounds today.
And Rick takes that nice safe landing zone like you mentioned.
Yeah, that's the ideal spot.
He's really been doing that a lot today. He's just kind of played within himself. Hasn't really taken too many risky plays.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, birdies are great. He's stacking them up, 12 or 13 of them.
And there Paul goes again, trying to run that for the eagle.
Needs a little slide. Ooh.
And it kicks off of the OB flag, back OB.
That's unfortunate.
That's a rough break. Now, do you like to see a line drawn there instead of flags for that reason?
I like the visual of the flags, but it is really, it's a tough thing to say because, a line you can't see it all from the tee. But you hate to see the apparatus of OB deny a shot.
Exactly. Nikko goes with the nice turnover shot there, and he's going to go with another smooth turnover.
Oh, this is running it. Oh, maybe not. A little short.
That's really nice, though. That's
beautiful.
Two beautiful shots in a row from Nikko. Those are textbook turnover shots.
And this is the
textbook forehand shot.
classic play for both. That's how you birdie that hole, with backhand or forehand.
Yeah, we've been able to see some excellent golf today, except for that shot was less than excellent.
Now, he's had a tough day, but that is the worst shot he's thrown today. I'm sorry to say it, Jerm, but that was a really, really errant shot, straight out of bounds.
McBeth taking out that Innova that he tried to run it with back on 11, and he just sails it a bit long.
Left himself a little tester. Passed the test.
He did. So he will take the par there, but trying to go for that aggressive play actually ends up losing him a stroke to Ricky.
I go back to hole 5. 2 eagles on 5, 2 pars here.
Kind of evens itself out.
He could lay them up. Either way, he's 4 down.
That's true. That's true.
So it's all strategy.
And there's Ricky cleaning up his birdie.
A great solid round by Rick.
Rick ends the round with 3 birdies after that putt that clanged off the top and went OB.
Yeah.
Nikko also with a nice recovery for birdie there after hole 17's misfortune there. And that's our round for today. However, we did find out that after the round, Paul McBeth was assessed a 2-stroke misplay penalty due to playing hole 7 incorrectly during round 1. Apparently with his OB shot, or I'm sorry, not with his OB shot, his approach shot, he should have played it differently. And as a result, due to PDGA Rule 803.03, when a misplay is discovered after a player's turn in the scorecard, he gets a 2-throw penalty. And so that's actually going to put him now 5 shots behind Wysocki. And as you see here, we were able to catch up with him. He said, if you don't make the island safely, you have to play it from the other side. I played it from where it went out because that's where it was marked, and I heard quite a few people played it that way, so hopefully they own up to their mistakes as well, and you have to wonder if that'll be rectified. So now McBeth is going to be in 3rd place overall.
Yeah, really unfortunate situation. Obviously, it's on us as the players to read the rules on the hole. I think this hole was a bit confusing, and the spotter, unfortunately, was also confused about the rules. So made a mistake there to play it where the spotter had marked it. Probably should have got the caddy book out. I think quite a few players are probably going to be penalized.
And we'll see how that plays out over the rest of the tournament, and we'll see you tomorrow here at Jomez Productions.